What up, what up, what up, y'all? It's your boy Jamar.
And I'm Brianna.
And this is the Safe Word Podcast, Season 3.
Episode 6.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Whew. What an impactful week it has been. Among other things. Yeah. We had the best of times. We had the worst of times. It was quite an incredible weekend. For those of you who actually know us in person, we celebrated a very special occasion in one of our friends, two of our friends, I should say, wedding. One of my frat brothers, you know. Hashtag Journey to Jones. It was an amazing time. But while the world kept spinning, there have been some other things that have happened, and we're about to talk to you about at least one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But first,
give you all the tea, honey.
But first, we're going to talk about something that I feel is relatable to everybody, as well as give you guys the safe word of the week. Anything else you want to say about that, honey?
No, we're going to do all the talking in a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do it. So the safe word of the week is going to be... Scarlet. All right. Now, the first question, go ahead and tee it up, baby, because I know that this is something that you want to talk about.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, the first... What? The first question is...
That was dramatic. Like, oh, was it?
Because I thought it was you that wanted to talk about it. Okay, well, anyway, the first question is, how do you display or show affection? How do you display or show affection?
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Y'all remember when I said that he always says that, right? Okay.
So today's going to be a lot more informal, obviously. We're getting right into the meat and potatoes. How do you show or display affection in regards to your relationship in specific? And really, you know, that's just a backboard to spring into other areas as well. But the short answer is... I show affection through words like good morning, I love you, constant communication, kisses on the cheek, kisses on the lips, through cooking. You know, I love to cook for Brianna. I love to cook for the both of us, making sure that the bed is made, you know, kind of like taking care of her in that aspect. I show affection kind of externally, you know, and that is what I feel it, you know, kind of is my way. And it's kind of similar to love languages, and I feel like we've touched on love languages a little bit in the past, but this one is more specific to, you know, how you receive love is one thing, but how you display love and affection is another, and that's what we're really talking about right now. And that's how I feel like I display love, is through words, like always saying I love you at least once a day. Definitely, you know, if I see you for the first time that day, better believe I expect a kiss. You know, the when we get off the phone, I expect an I love you. You know, especially if it's like the last time that we're going to talk for the day. And really what it is it's just kind of like, I want to make sure that if that's the last thing that I ever say to you, at least you know that I love you. And it's been said. And it's not just something that you know because you feel it, instead of you know because I said it. If that makes sense. What about you, baby?
Well, I show affection differently, I would say. And I feel like sometimes our ways of showing affection may clash, or really my way of showing affection may clash with him. But me personally, like, okay, when he first told me that, you know, he expects a kiss every time we greet each other or say goodbye or something, I was like, ooh, that's a lot. Like, you're asking a lot from me, because I wasn't used to doing that. Like, I used to come in, and for you Haitians, don't judge me, okay? Because I used to come in sometimes the house and just walk to my room and not really like say hi to anybody. I would just walk in and go to my room or whatever. And I mean, it wasn't a big deal to us. I know it's a big deal to some of y'all, okay, as I learned, but it wasn't a big deal for us. So I just wasn't, used to that. So the thought of me having to kiss him and greet him every single time we saw each other, I was just like, oh God, he is really doing the most right now. But ironically, I've grown to actually really like it now that, I'm used to it. I've done it for 3 years, but I've grown to really like it. But I say that to say it's funny because I don't want to have to say I love you all the time, or like, every time we get off the phone or we see each other, and I don't want to have to kiss you every time we see each other or leave each other. However, I am the one who will be like all up on you. Like if we're in the bed, I want my leg on top of yours. And even that may not even be enough. Sometimes I want my whole body on top of yours. I want to be snuggled up under you. I want my arms around you. I want to feel that closeness in that way. And for me, that's what it is. It's feeling that closeness. And I guess for Jamar, saying I love you, kissing each other upon greeting each other is that closeness for him. So it's shown in different ways, but we both now know how the other person shows affection. So we know how to, take it. Well, hopefully. Do you know how to take my affection?
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. So we have two different ways of showing affection, and sometimes it kind of clashes, especially in the very beginning of our relationship. And really for like the first year or so of our relationship, it really clashed because for me, I don't like people on me like that. And it's the craziest thing is I used to think that I was an affectionate person, and in some respects I am. But there's different types of affection, and that's something that I've learned through this relationship. I don't really like people on me like that. Number one, I have boundary issues. Number two, I get hot, like really, really, really fast. Like after 5 minutes, I'm already sweating, and I need you off of me. I don't know if it's because I have hair on my body. I don't know if I don't know. But I'm not somebody who can just have somebody on you all the time. I need my space. And I love the fact that, like, if we're watching a movie, I love being right next to you. I love maybe like, holding your hand, or not even necessarily holding your hand, but at least putting like something on you. That's fine. But if it starts to become too much for me, then I get agitated. And I think that in the beginning of our relationship, she didn't understand that part of me. And I don't know maybe if I did the best job of explaining that either. Because like I said, when I first started dating her, I thought that I was affectionate. And I thought that, I knew what it was to be affectionate, but it was a different type of affection that I showed. Just like in the very beginning, like you said, you weren't necessarily gung-ho about every time you saw me giving me a kiss or saying I love you when we started saying I love you to each other every single day. And especially, with regards to my family and you having to go and say hi to every single person that you saw in a Haitian household, Caribbean household, that's what you do. When you see there's 15 people sitting down in the living room, you got to say hi to every single person individually.
Let me tell you, someone like me who is very introverted when it comes to like random people and strangers, that is like my worst nightmare. Okay. Literally, like when he told me, I think it was that one time when we were at your house and all your freaking aunties and uncles were there, and it was like 6 or 7 of them, and they were all on the couch. And he told me, he was like, yeah, you need to make sure that you say hi to every single one of them. And I was like, what? Why? Like, I was like, I can't just say hi and walk on.
Nah.
Like, I have to literally, oh my gosh, that.
Pagues up, yes.
I think that I will never forget that day because it was just so mortifying for me.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, oh God, it was just so dreadful. Now I'm used to it and now I have no problem. But oh my gosh, that day I was like, I think I'm ready to break up now.
It's been a real slice. Gotta go. Do you think that you have gotten used to my different way of showing affection. The fact that I'm not necessarily the type of affection lover that you are.
I don't know if I'll ever get used to you not wanting me on you sometimes. Because that's just, I feel like that's just who I am. Like, it's ingrained. Like, that's how I show that I'm, I guess, into you, or that I like you a lot, or whatever. And I'm like that with my friends too. Like, sometimes it'd be like, hi, my love. Like, I'll be like all up on them. Like, I'm just, that's just how I am. I like to be on you. So I feel like even to this day, like, if he's just like, okay, babe, get off, a part of me dies inside. But
no, but like, seriously, I remember the first few times I told her this. She's like, she made an action like she might as well move back to whatever state she was in. Like, oh, so you want me to leave? I'm like, no, just move a little to the right. Oh, so you want me to go home? Is that what you're saying? And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I can be a little dramatic sometimes, but in all seriousness, it does, like, it's hard, because when you're someone who loves to be on someone and just to show your affection by physical touch, and then you have a person who can only take so much of that before it becomes too much for them, it's hard. It's like, how do you fix that? How do you live in harmony with that? So I think that we're still getting used to it. And I mean, it's better. Like, I've learned to not take it to heart when he wants me to get off or to just not be on him at the moment. I've learned to not, like, react so, like, sensitively as much as I want to. I've learned that that's just how he is. And, your partner, you're going to have some differences. And I would rather have something small like this than,
then our next subject. I'm sorry. Yeah, I definitely feel that. I feel like I feel like I feel like I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. So yeah.
And just to be clear, I definitely am physically affectionate as well, but my battery runs low very fast. Like, if we're watching a movie and I want to cuddle and things like that, after like 5-10 minutes, I'm ready to back up again, because I start to sweat and I get hot. And Brianna gives off a lot of heat, and I take in a lot of heat, and I don't give off any heat. So all that heat is just going straight to me, and I literally physically start to sweat. So it's not 100% my fault. It's not like I don't want to be close and on people and blah blah blah. I just get hot. Like, even now, my hands starting to sweat. That's just the type of person that I am. But how do you guys display affection, and how do you deal with the differences of affection giving in your relationships? We want to know what you guys think about that.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. Make sure you guys comment down below. Also, I want you guys to just take a second right now, just subscribe to our channel, ring the bell for notifications so you guys can always stay up to date with the Safe Word Podcast, be a part of the safe space, and just tune into what we got going on over here. It's a cute little quaint channel that we have here. We're on season 3 right now, and we do roughly 10 episodes a season, and we love for you guys to be a part of the safe space. Yeah. Now, was that it for that topic?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Scarlet, just for the remainder of whatever I may say in this next part. We don't necessarily have a question for the second question, quote unquote, but what it really is we're going to talk about the Derrick Jaxn situation.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, really, it's Derrick Jaxn, Let's talk about it. First thing I want to say is, I told y'all. Let me start like Boosie's daughter. I told you.
I can't.
I told people from years and years ago, don't put your faith in social media celebrities, quote unquote, people who are giving you advice, especially if it just seems so like, it just seems off to me. For those of you who have no idea what the hell we're talking about, Derrick Jaxn was a self-proclaimed relationship guru who spent years and years, actually built his fame and built his notoriety off of pretty much telling females that guys ain't ish and that they deserve better, and the way that they were was, for all intents and purposes, fine and perfect, and it was always the guy who kind of needed to change his ways and be a better person. And he would do a lot of these videos in the car, and like I said, he started off, small, build his following, and now I think he's got like 1 million followers on Instagram or something like that, and Facebook or whatever. This guy was just recently exposed for cheating on his wife. He's been married for 4 years. Cheating on his wife, and I take no pleasure in saying that. I wish them nothing but the best. I wish them lots of therapy, lots of healing, lots of peace after the situation. The thing that I really want to kind of put my 2 cents in is not about the actual adulterous act. It's about the fact that people have such a tendency to get sucked in by celebrity status or social media personalities or people that you see who seem to be having everything figured out in life. And it's such a shame, and it's such a sham also, because nobody in life has everything figured out, and nobody is going to have all the answers that you need. No human being is going to have all the answers. We all fall short of the kingdom of God. And without getting too preachy, there was one thing that I always felt whenever I would see his videos, whenever I would see someone talking about his videos, I always felt as though he was manipulating a certain demographic of women. It always felt uncomfortable to me. So I don't want to say that these women were necessarily weak-minded, but like I said, Scarlett, I use a safe word, so we're in a safe place here. I feel as though he targeted easily impressionable women with his Captain Save a Woman personality, for lack of a more appropriate term. And a lot of women fell for his bullcrap. And at the end of the day, he ended up being a hypocrite for a lot of his fans. So I know that a lot of people are kind of talking about like, I knew it all along and blah, 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 but no, a lot of people, they fell for him, and it's okay. I just really want to emphasize that anybody that you see on social media, at the end of the day, they're human beings, and they're going to make mistakes, and you shouldn't put all of your stock into that one person or that one group or whatever. You really should, get education from actual valid sources and not from social media celebrities. So that's what I have to say about that for now. What do you have to say about that, honey?
I think it's an unfortunate situation. I'm gonna be the one to definitely say that I did not see that coming at all. I was never really one who, like, I wouldn't say that I listened to Derrick Jaxn. Like, I would watch some of his videos as they came up, but I never like subscribed to his like YouTube channel and like watched for his videos and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I would listen to it here and there, and then to be honest, to me, he was spitting facts sometimes. Like, I feel like, okay, yeah, he's right. But I mean, obviously he came off as very one-sided to the guys, because you never really saw him, like, I feel like the difference between him and like other motivational speakers is they they provide like both sides of the coin, and I feel like Derrick was very one-sided. So yeah, a lot of the guys didn't like him, and I personally thought they didn't like him because he was just coming for them, as I'm sure most or a lot of women, did. But I feel like I didn't see through, like I didn't think that he was a faker or like, just not true or real. But I also think it's because I didn't really pay attention to him enough to really dig that deep into it. Like I said, I watched a few videos, some of his videos, and some of the stuff that he was saying, I was like, yeah, man, that's true. But that was really it. Personally, I feel like I cannot attack him. And I feel like the people who are attacking him right now, I feel like the people who are attacking him right now, it kind of brings me back to the story in the Bible, when Jesus said, whoever, what was it that he said?
He who is without sin,
cast the first stone. I was thinking of the glass house thing. What's the glass house saying?
Don't throw stones in the glass house. I don't think that's biblical, though.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that.
Well, whatever. But Jesus basically was saying, like, we all sin. So it's really not our place to judge anybody else who's sinning. So
interesting that you say that. Not to cut you off, but isn't that exactly what he was doing for those 7-8 years that he got his fame and fortune? He was sitting there judging men and talking about our shortcomings, but yet we're not supposed to be judging other people.
I don't think he was judging men. I think he was just telling women, not to watch out for these men or to not blah, 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 whatever he was saying. I don't know. But I mean, I don't necessarily think that he was judging them. And even if he was, just because somebody else is doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, doesn't mean that we need to be doing something that we're not supposed to be doing towards them. At the end of the day, God is the final judge, and the vengeance is the Lord's. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what's done in the dark will always come to the light. So he is, I mean, he's getting his cake. I mean, he's paying for his mistake. But I'm personally not going to sit here and be like, oh, he is a liar. He's a hypocrite. Cancel him. Like, no. He's human. People make mistakes. Am I condoning his behavior? Absolutely not. We all know how I feel about cheating and adultery. And if you don't know, now you know. Okay. No. Okay. I don't know. But I personally feel like he is human. He owned up to his mistake. And I feel like now he needs to make sure he takes steps to rectify it. And the only really explanation that he owes anyone is his wife, not us. So as long as he did that and they're taking whatever steps they're doing to fix this situation, then good for them. That's all I have to say about it. I mean, he made his own bed, he laid in it, and now he's paying the consequences. And it is what it is. It's like, that's the end of story for me. I'm not going to sit here and bash him and go on his page and be like, you're a bleep, 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 but.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree in that aspect. I don't have time to sit here and try to talk about anybody on their page. I'm not gonna come for him. I'm not gonna go out of my way to clown him on his page or whatever. But as I said before, he made a living. This dude sold books. He sold books about he was like a wannabe Steve Harvey with that Think Like a Man, Act Like a Lady book or whatever. Like, he literally sold books and made a living off of his holier than thou personality. And the thing that really bothered me about it, and this is something I believe that we've spoken about years ago, people fall for Derrick Jaxn's persona, his mindset. Honestly, I don't know. I think the main reason why they did was because they found something lacking in themselves that they could identify with through what he was saying. And what I mean by that is, like I said, a lot of women who fell for his schemes and fell for his stories, I feel like some of them had insecurities. I feel like some of them had self-esteem issues. Some of them maybe were looking for someone to blame. So when Derrick Jaxn came out and said, "Oh no, you're fine, baby girl. It's these men you're dealing with that's the problem," a lot of them were able to find their champion clown. And he sat there and he boosted these girls' self-esteem up. And rather than him be the one to tell them, like, yes, there are some men out there who deserve to be left alone and ignored, but also, boo-boo, you got some things that you need to worry about yourself and make sure that you grow on and that you develop yourself with, so that you can be worth, so much more than you are at that moment, your internal value. I believe that he allowed them to feel as though wherever they were mentally was just fine and everybody around them was the problem. And like I said, I did not subscribe to his channel. I didn't study all of his videos, but from the videos that I saw, from the comments that he would post, from the content that he put together, it really made me feel as though he found a way to capitalize on a niche of women, a demographic, so to speak, who were easily manipulated. Let's just call it what it is. Like I said, I done said Scarlet 3-4 times already. I don't know what else more you want me to say. I'm going to tell you like it is. I feel as though he manipulated a lot of people and they fell for it. And now they see that he's just a regular dude, just like anybody else. And he's not God. Y'all sitting here damn near putting his quotes on y'all t-shirts and gassing him up. It reminds me, he's like, he made some females feel like that Future meme where their Future's in the bathroom and he's like, "You're not toxic, they're toxic." Like, he literally made girls feel like, no, I'm not the problem. It's these dudes around me that's not the problem, even though these girls have legitimate issues. And that's honestly, I'm not going to keep harping on it, but that's honestly my biggest reason why I thought he was a clown. It wasn't because he was commenting on male issues and kind of like, being a Captain Save-A-Girl, like I said. It was because he was so one-sided in it that he almost made it seem like all dudes were dogs and all females were queens with no personal issues whatsoever. And if they were personal issues, they were super minor and not worth fixing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get it, but I don't know if I necessarily agree, because I feel like a lot of, like, he wouldn't say, "No, none of these men are good enough for you," and blah, blah, blah. Like, I feel like he would say, the man who's doing this, this, and that, you don't need that. You need a man who's going to do this, this, and that. Like, that's, at least that's what I got from the videos that I did watch from him.
Yeah, that is true. But guess what? Who is he to say that a man that's doing this, this, and this is not someone you need to invest in? A man could be doing the wrong thing at this age, grow, mature internally, and a few years later is doing exactly what he needs to do. Maybe he may not be the man for you at that moment, but maybe he could be the perfect man at 21, and then at 29, he is just a complete a-hole. Or in this case, I mean, we didn't even get a chance to talk about his wife. The poor girl. You see, that video where that's being memed right now, where he's holding on to her hand for dear life, damn near cutting off the circulation, and she's in a bonnet hat. Like, we're not a gossip site. We're not a gossip podcast, but we just wanted to address that because at the end of the day, you have to really find the value in yourself intrinsically and through your own self-worth, and you cannot let someone else's words hoodwink you into believing that you have no need for personal growth and development. And I really feel as though that was his biggest flaw. He was a snake oil salesman. And, God bless him. God bless his marriage. I hope that they recover and they're able to find peace in it. But I hope that this is a lesson for you guys, that you can't just believe in everybody on social media. The real ones, the real dudes who was out there, like, watching the girls quote his every word, we knew what was up. Do I look like a ain't-ish dude? No. I knew what was up.
Yeah, but what exactly was up, though? Because I feel like I hear people saying, "Oh, yeah, I knew what was up, and I knew da-da-da." What exactly did you know? Because, like, he cheated, yes. But other than that, what else do you know? Like, I feel like you guys are making it seem like he was doing this, like, for years and years and years and years.
Well, he said he cheated multiple times, but that's not what I'm talking about. When I said I knew what was up, I mean I knew his character. I knew that he was not somebody that he was portraying online. I knew that he was manipulating females' mindsets. I knew that he was not the person that people thought that he was.
But I guess my question with that is how do you feel like he was manipulating women? Because he cheated and he made a mistake. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's one thing. But how do we know that that is his character and not just a mistake? Like, not just... Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, how do we know that this is I can understand if this was who he was. He was a cheater. He was a liar. He was a manipulator. He did this, this, and that. But how do we know that he was actually a manipulator and that cheating was who he was and not just a mistake that he did?
Well, again, I think you're holding on to what I said when I was talking about me knowing who he was. And you're assuming that I'm talking about the cheating aspect. What I'm saying when I say I know who he was... No, I'm saying
because you said he's a manipulator. And I'm saying, how do we know that?
He was a manipulator of women. He was sitting here talking in people's ears, trying to make them feel a certain way, because he knew that he could capitalize on that. He knew that he could gain, either a following or monetary compensation or whatever. He knew that he could build a following and a what's the word I'm looking for? Dang.
Congregation?
No, not congregation, but he knew that he could build a reputation from, telling people what they think they want to hear. And that's why I said the people who knew better, and it wasn't just guys who do that. A lot of females could see past his nonsense also. I'm not going to sit here and say every single female was hoodwinked, but the people who knew about him and what he really, that he really wasn't perfect, that his ish stank just like everybody else. We knew that if something were to happen, that like what happened this weekend, we would not be surprised. And lo and behold, there is no ounce of surprise on my face. As a matter of fact, when I saw the whole story, I was just like, well, there it is.
It's definitely unfortunate. I'm not going to say that I was not surprised, but I'm not going to say that I was surprised either. Like I was indifferent about it. I was like, oh, okay. Like... it happened. It is what it is. I don't know if I would go as far as to say that he was a manipulator and whatnot, because I don't feel like he ever said that he was perfect or he ever tried to make himself to be perfect. I think he was just, he made a mistake. He made his bed. He lied in it. He's paying for the mistake, and we can move on. Like that's how I feel. I personally don't feel like just because this whole thing got exposed that I'm gonna say that he was doing all of this, like he was manipulating women and blah blah blah. I mean, I can see why people would say that. I personally don't know if I would say that. So,
well, I would say that he put on a certain face in the public eye. He put on a persona that he knew was magnetizing. Because let's look at the facts. He's not an ugly guy. He's telling the girls what they want to hear, what they hope that the guy that they like would want to hear, and he's capitalizing on that. So when I say he's not the guy that you guys think he is, and he's manipulating you, he's manipulating you in the sense that he's preying on your emotions, and anyway, I don't want to sit here and talk about this guy too much. He's not really worth that much time. But what do you guys think? Okay, what do you think about this whole situation? What do you think about people putting all their stock into social media personalities, into relationship gurus, so to speak? Do you think that it was a wise decision, or do you think that this was just a one-off situation and everything else that he said was still valuable? Or do you feel as though maybe there are other relationship gurus that are tried and true that haven't done this? I mean, what are your thoughts? Let's get this conversation started in the comments. Let's get the dialogue popping. You already know our opinion, obviously. And we want to know yours. So, yeah. I mean, that's really all I have to say about this piece of work.
Okay.
Yep. Well, if that's the case, you ain't got nothing else to say, honey?
I do, but I feel like we'll be here all day. So.
I really do. We're already cutting it past where we want to. So we're going to, if anything, we could always just spin off this subject into another episode. one day in the future. You never know. You guys tell us. If you want us to talk more about this, you can also put that in the comments as well.
Please do. Let us know.
Yep. And with that being said, we're going to bring this episode to a close.
Yes.
So we're going to holler at y'all next week. Peace.